I have done multiple of these videos, these series of videos. I guess you get my drift right here. There's a lot of details in this design in my head. I'm so happy how this turned out. Hello, it's me, Mimim, and welcome to my world. So for this week's video is quite a special one. I have done multiple of these videos, these series of videos. I guess you get my drift right here. But I am again doing a DIY display case, and this would be like a series of videos. I have already unboxed the figures that I would put into this display case just so that I could put the figures in there and figure out what spaces need to be filled in and what spaces don't need some of these designs, because I just want to make sure that the figures would be quite stable in there. So yeah, I've already unboxed the figures and I'm quite excited to show you guys in the next video. But for this video, I am also quite excited because what I'm planning is quite intricate. There's a lot of details in this design in my head. This display case would have like a Candy Wonderland theme, which gives away what figures I'll be putting in there. For the people who know, you know. And I'm quite excited to explore if I could actually pull this off. Alright, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Alright, you guys, let's start. So we need a lot of things for this DIY project. So I am envisioning like a go all out for this design, because the series that I'll be unboxing for the next video is one of my favorite series. So I'll start showing you guys all of the items that we need. So let's start with the basics. You need some glue, some pencils, and then you would need some brushes. I have like a thicker brush for wider spaces and then smaller brush for narrower spaces. And then you would need some pair of scissors, and then you would need double-sided tape and a masking tape. For this project, this would suffice already. And then you would need some ruler and some paint. You need some white paint. And then something new that we'll be using today is colored chalk and a Ziploc bag. You would see later what we need these for. And then I have one off the screen. You would need like a fiber filling. You would just need like a small amount. Up next, we have our papers over here. So first, you need some pink construction paper. This is a very light pink. And then you would need some felt paper. This is a cartolina sized felt paper. I just cut it down to this size just to make it manageable to show you guys. And then up next is this craft paper. So this is also a cartolina sized craft paper. Actually, this is the first time that I knew about craft paper. I think I'm gonna use this in future projects as well. And then next you would need some brown felt paper. So I really like this color brown, this dark chocolatey brown. It goes well with our next items. So our next items are the very beautiful items that we have here on the side. So I went kinda overboard, I think, with buying these items, but I think seeing all of these items, you kind of see the theme for this display case already. So we have like candy themed accessories over here. There are some, I don't know, is this crackers? I think. And then you have some lollipops over here. That's spiral lollipops. We have like small circle lollipops over here for finer details. And then we have these, I don't know what these are, but they are very colorful and they come in a lot of colors. So we can use this for trimming, like for lines, etc. So I'll show you guys later. And then we have here like gummies. these are not actual gummies, but gummy accessories over here. There's a lot of shapes over here. There's some pig, some bear, gummy bears, some hearts, Hello Kitty, and all that. And then next are these, I don't know, these are jelly or gumdrops? No, they are more like jelly. So you need some of these. And then we have some candy canes over here as well. So there are multiple designs inside as well. So we can use that. And then there are some miniature ice creams. They are so cute. And then we have like miniature cupcakes as well. These are so cute. The details on these is amazing. And then we have some, these are gumdrops. I think these are the gumdrops. So multiple colors as well. So pastel colors. So these are beautiful. And then we have like donuts as well, miniature donuts. And then we can proceed to the chocolates. So we have like chocolates over here that are bitten already. And then we have small chocolate bars. There are different shades of chocolate bars inside, as you can see. And then the big chocolate bars. There's pink chocolate, there's white chocolate, and then there's the regular dark chocolate or milk chocolate. So these are all of the items that we would need for this project, and I'm so excited to show you guys how to do it. All right, let's get started. All right, let's get started with the easy part of this DIY display case. So first, this is the bottom part of the display case. So these notches are very important. So on the side, these notches are where the side panels go in, and then on the back side, these are the notches where the background comes in. And on the front part, these are for the doors. So there are two notches for the doors. So you could either choose to make it open from the left, my left, or make it open from the right, my right. So, and then the important thing to note is we should keep all of our decorations within these notches. So we should not design outside of these lines. So just inside. So to get started, you should take your brown felt paper and then just trace everything with these sides over here. So take like an outline of the bottom part, and then you need to reduce the measurement from the outer part to the inner part. I have my ruler here. To do that, just take out like 5 of these lines for the inches over here. So 5 from the back, and then 5 on the side as well, and then 5 on this other side as well. And then on the front part, this part, you need to take out 6 lines for this part right here. I actually don't know if this is cm or what, but these lines on the inches, I hope you can see it. So these lines over here, just take out 5 of these lines back, side, and then 6 of these lines for the front part. And so just cut it all out, and then you would get this one. So as you can see, let's fit it on. There you go. It perfectly fits like so. So just use your glue to glue it all down onto the bottom part of the display case. So just a fair warning, use like a plastic thing to just have somewhere to put your brush in, because you would need this to spread around the glue on the felt paper. One tip that I have for you guys is just put on the side parts first, like the edges first. And then put on like a small amount of glue, because the felt paper is a very temperamental item. And if you put on too much glue, the felt paper would crumple up, like have bubbles and all of that. So just put like a small amount, just enough for this paper to stick onto the bottom part, but yeah, not a lot. Okay, I think that's enough for now. Just work fast and then spread around the edges part, just to make sure that no part of this paper would lift up after we put it on the bottom part. Just spread it around using your brush like so, and then on the middle part as well, just spread it all around. All right, so let's put this on. Make sure to get all of the edges and the back part correct. Oh my god. Okay, everything's good. So just press it down. Okay, so this is all good already. As you can see, it's already crumpling. So this, again, this material is so temperamental. Just make sure to put on just a little amount of glue and then just press down on this. Or you can put like books on top of this to make sure that it is flat after. All right. Okay, so this next part of this DIY project is the most difficult one. I mean, the most complicated one for me because we're going all out for this design. So we're going to design the back part of the display case or the background. So usually I just put like some paper over here and just print some pictures to make it like a background. But for now, the visual that we are putting onto this background will be made entirely by actual things. So like 3D accessories over here. So these are what you would need. So these bar of chocolates, and then these lollipops over here, and then these small bars of chocolate, and then this jelly thing, and then these biscuits or wafers. I don't know what these are. And then these gumdrops over here as well. For the paper part, you would need like a light pink construction paper. And then this you would need for your background. This is a cartolina sized craft paper. This would be the base of our background, like so. Oh, actually, I forgot another item. You would also need your brown felt paper. So you would need this brown felt paper as well. This is a cartolina sized brown felt paper that I just cut. But yeah, you need these 3 papers, a craft paper, a light pink construction size paper, and then a brown felt paper. And then for the basics, you would need scissors, some pencil, and then some ruler. All right, let's get started. So our original vision is just to make it like so. So this is again the base of the background. And the vision is to create like a candy house on top of this. So first you would need these lollipops. These are so cute. So this can be like on the top of the design. It is kind of inverted on you guys, but yeah, this is facing towards me. And then you would need 2 lollipops for the side part, like so. So this would be like the top part of our candy house. And then we would need the candy cane as well. Sorry, I forgot this. So you would need the candy cane as well. So just choose designs to make it more balanced on both sides, because these would be like the roof, the design on the roof for our candy house. So let me take this design because I have 4 of them right over here. So I could use that, put it like this, and then another design in the middle like so. And then this would be the last part. So this would be the roof design. I hope you can picture it already. Let me turn it around for you guys. So this would be the roof part of our candy house. So to fill in these spaces, I would need these jellies. So I would choose red, green, and yellow on both sides. So 2 reds, 2 greens, and 2 yellows. And then you would need to put these onto the spaces like so. Yellow, and then green. All right, so that's basically our roof already. Let me show you guys up close. So this is the general design of our roof for this candy house. So these are not yet glued on because we don't glue these on top of the craft paper. We'll glue them onto the other papers. Let's just show you guys the general outline of the house. So you would need these crackers. Let me turn it around for me to see the design better. So you would need 6 of these crackers. So this would be like the main body of the house already. So you would need 6, make it fit like so, and then 2 on the sides. So these are horizontal. Then you would need 2 crackers vertical onto the sides. So 2 per side like so, and then 2 on the inner as well. I've ran out of crackers, so I'll pour in more. So 2 like so, and 2 over here as well. And then for this space, you would need 2 horizontal crackers on each side as well, like so. So these squares over here are the windows for our house. And then this square over here is for our door. So our door, you would need like 1 brown chocolate, this bar of chocolate over here. This one, this is so cute, you guys. So this would be our door. So let's put it like so. This is again just the outline, you guys, so don't worry. And then 1 cracker, horizontal cracker, onto the bottom to fill in that space. So for our window is we would need the smaller bars of chocolate. These ones, these are so cute. So for this one, you would have like random colors for the bar of chocolates that you would get. So I try to just balance them all for the design. So for this one, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of this light brown chocolates. And then I have 3 of this regular milk chocolate. And then I have 2 of this white chocolate. And then 1 like a caramel colored chocolate. So this can be like our doorknob, like so. Like that. And then for the windows, I would just have 2 of this brown chocolate. Have it like so. Then 1 on the diagonal as well. Then just fill in this part with the brown chocolate. Again, don't worry if these are not aligned because I'm just showing you guys the outline of the design. So that's the window part. And then for this part, I'll put on like 2 brown chocolates again. Light brown, I mean. And then for this space, I would put on the white chocolate. Like so. So this is the general design of our house. I hope you can already picture it. It does look like a house, I think. So this is again the roof, and then this is the main body of the house. This is the window, and then this is the door. So the rest would be like designs already. I mean, just extra. So for the middle part of the roof, like here, I would need these gumdrops. You can just put on different colors of gumdrops over here. You could make a pattern or not. Just put on these gumdrops. Okay, I think that already looks good. So it is coming together, you guys. I'll show you guys again. This is the roof part. So these are the gumdrops already. So these would fill in the space inside the roof, like the middle part of the roof. And then for the other parts on this part, you would need the bar of chocolates again. So just pour them all down. Open the 2 packets of bar of chocolates. And then these would be like the foundation of the house. So I'll just put them like in a pattern. I have a lot of pink chocolate on my order, so I'll just put on more pink chocolate in the pattern. And that's the pink and the white ones as the base. And then the brown chocolate would be to fill in the space. So as you can see, it perfectly fits on our background, like so. Then this. All right, so we have the foundation already for our background. I'll show you guys. So now you have a general idea of the design of our background. This would be just blank. Everything would be aligned after, but again, this is just the general idea. You could put on some of these designs or the other designs as well here, everywhere, like so. But again, as I have said, we are not putting the roof part onto just the craft paper. We will be using the pink construction paper right over here and the brown felt paper. So I'll take out all of these and then we can get started on the roof. But again, this is the general design. All right, let's get started with the roof part of this design. So I have already measured my background over here. So you just need to find the middle part of this background. So I've measured from this side to this side. So it comes in like 306 millimeters. This part. So it's millimeters, I guess. So it's 306 millimeters for the width. So the center part would be around 153. So we have measured 153 from this part to this part. So this is already like the middle. So we would know where the middle part of the roof would be. So this would be where the lollipops come in, like so. So this would be like the middle. And then this line over here indicates where the last part of our roof would end up in. So from this side, so from the top part down to this part, it's 103 millimeters. So 103 millimeters. Just mark down on here and then just draw a line. So 103 millimeters again from the top part to this part here. And then the width for this is around 225 millimeters. So the width is 225. So you would need to draw a line over here. Just a small line. So this would indicate where the last part of the roof would be. So at least it would be aligned in our design. So it would be like so. I'll show you guys. So the top part would be for the center part, and then this side, the corner, is to indicate the position of the last candy cane of the roof. So we have that side as well. So we have that design already. So we have this measurement. So just measure like 155 on the width. 255 millimeters on the width. And then on the height, you would need 115 millimeters. So this is bigger than this part, so that the design or this pink part would be more than the roof. So these candy canes would be inside the pink part. Okay, so we have our pink construction over here. So this is the size that we need it for. And then you would need to find the middle part of this. So since this is 255 millimeters, you would need to find the center. So 255 divided by 2 is around 127.5. So just use 127 instead. So just mark the 127. So this would be the middle part of our pink construction paper, so that we could align the middle part of the craft paper and the middle part of this pink paper over here. And then for you to see where the last part of the roof would be in, we would need to measure 15 cm inside and inside over here as well, because again, this is 225 and this is 255. So we need to deduct 15 cm on both sides. And then for this height, we have 103 for the height here, right? So we have 115 over here. So we just need to get a size of 103 cm from the top part. So now we can draw a little L to indicate the corner of the roof. We can't draw lines because it would be really dirty if we draw a line all over. So we just need this tiny L for the corner and then do that for the other side as well. Okay, so now we have the general idea. This is the center part of this pink paper. Hopefully my camera is focusing. This is the pink part, and then this is the center part of the top, and then this is the corner for each side. So we can put our accessories over here to make like an outline. Just put all of your accessories again on top just to get the outline of the roof. So for this part, let's make sure that it won't go through or go past the corner that we have marked. Okay, so that's the candy cane and the lollipop. So now we will put the jelly parts onto the spaces. Like so. Okay, so generally that would be the color of the roof. Let's position it like that. Hopefully you can already picture the pink and then these accessories on top of it, and then this pink would be a great contrast for the craft paper. So the next part is we need to mark like around these accessories. Don't mark like just close to the accessories because we would need this pink paper to show up. So just mark around over here. What I do is just draw a line like so. Draw a line like that, and then on the other side as well. And then just draw the inside of this lollipop because I want this lollipop to stand out and not have pink paper showing on this part. But there would be like pink paper for these two lollipops over here. But for the top part, there shouldn't be any pink paper showing. So just again, draw lines on the side and then on the inside as well. Okay, I've skipped everything because if I would show you guys the step-by-step, we would have like a 1-hour video on our hands. So this is the general shape of the roof. Again, we have the middle part over here, and then this would be the outline of the lollipop, like so. And then this would be the outline of our roof. So I draw a line to here, and then I just draw like a curve onto this part. So this would be the design, and then inside I just draw in a line and then just draw a vertical line to make sure that this is where the middle part of the roof is, because the middle part wouldn't be pink because that would be too boring. The middle part would be brown. So we would need to cut just enough brown felt paper to fit in this inside over here. And then for this part, like this side here, so again, this is the corner for our roof. So it goes beyond that. So this would be like drips. You can draw on like drips of cream over here until this line. All right, I have it here. And so the bottom part of the brown should be onto the bottom part of what we drew. So 103 millimeters from the top part to here. So that line is where the brown should end up. And then just mark like a small pencil on top of here where 103 cm would also be there. So we could align this part onto the brown like so. So this is the cream that I have draw and cut out. It is cute. So this would be our roof. As you can see, I've put on a lots of glue. That's my mistake. So if you do this, just put on small amounts of glue. Because again, the brown felt paper is such a temperamental item. As you can see, it bleeds through this light pink construction paper. So just put on small amounts of glue, okay? But it can be covered with the candy, I guess, if you're not that meticulous. So let's put on the candy. Okay, so this is our roof design. It looks so cute already, you guys. So we just need to glue these on top of here. Okay, so the flaws are not that visible, I think. But if you're that meticulous, I think you can cover this with glitter, maybe. But that would be additional steps. So I won't do that. It looks cute already, like so. So the rest of the parts of the house, like the main body, the chocolate doors, the chocolate windows, the base chocolates as well, they would be glued on top of the craft paper. And then when everything is done already, you can use a double-sided tape to tape this down onto the background like so. Alright, so we are done with the most complicated part of this DIY display case. Now the next step is to do the steps of the display case. So this is the step where the figures would be on. So what we would need is to paint on white paint onto the bottom part and the back part. So I have already done that. So tips again for this one, you can do like 2 to 3 layers of white paint for this one. And then when you're brushing for the paint, don't get a lot of paint inside the notches because that would mean that the hardened paint would make it more difficult for the acrylic part to come in to this notch. And then just, be careful with painting. Don't spill a lot of paint onto the other parts, especially the front part. But the back part, you can just spill some. And then you would just need to paint over that quickly because hardened paint would make it difficult for you to make it more flat and refined. So again, you would just need to paint the back part, the bottom part, and then just a little bit of the side part as well. 2 to 3 layers of white paint. And then for the upper part and the front part, we would need white felt paper for this. So you would ask me, why can't we just paint everything white? So in my experience, I don't know if you could see it in the camera, but when we paint onto this step, the texture of the wood still goes through the paint like so. I just want the upper part and the front part to have like this texture to recreate like whipped cream look. So we would just need to measure this step. You need 14 inches width for the felt paper for this. So 14 inches because this is around, I think, 11 plus inches, just the step alone. But we would need some paper to go to the side and then onto the bottom part as well. So again, 14 inches width, and then 69 of these lines over here in the inches part, 69 of those for the upper part, like from here and then to the front, and then just a little bit under here. So 69 of these lines. I don't know if these are cm. I don't know. These are inches. So 69 of these lines here. So we have already cut out our white felt paper like so. So we would need to just glue this step onto here. So just a reminder, the painted part would be the back part, and then just align it at the back. Just measure the sides that there would be enough paper to cover the sides, but not enough paper to cover these notches over here. Okay, so just enough to just fold it like so, and then enough also to fold it on the front part as well. So just glue this down and then just cut like some slits on the sides to accommodate this curve over here. And then when we are done with the step, when the steps is already covered with the felt paper, we can put on like the cupcakes, the other accessories, the lollipops, etc. onto here. But you would need to put on the figures first to make sure that you would just put on accessories where the figures wouldn't stand on. Okay, you guys, we're almost done. We're almost there. So now we would design the upper part of the display case. So usually I just keep it simple. You know, just put on like felt paper on the top part and then just cut out this part because this is the light over here. And of course, when you put on like paper, you would need to cut this out for the light to come out. So for this project, I want to complicate my life for this project. So we would need to paint this top part with white paint. First, we need these notches to be not visible because we need to cover these notches because the design should be inside the notches and not outside. So we need to cover it with masking tape just to make sure that when we paint the top part, there won't be white paint onto here. Okay, everything done. We have covered all sides for now. So for this side, you can cover it with masking tape again, or just be careful that you won't be painting on top of this light. But for me, I think I'll just cover this with masking tape. So this white painted top part of the display case would be the base of the design. So yes, this is still not done. After we paint this with white paint, we have something extra for the top part. So this next part is something new that I haven't tried before. So you would need colored chalks over here and then like fiber. And then you would need like a Ziploc bag. So the idea is to get like colored chalk. For me, I would choose either of these pinks over here. So I've tried like the dark pink chalk. I put it in my Ziploc bag and then just crushed it. After that, I put in like fibers onto there and then I just shake it around. And then you can see that the fiber is turning onto the color of the chalk. But as I have seen, it is kind of like very dark. But we are to replicate like a cotton candy. But in that color, that's like the cotton candy in our peria. But generally, globally, the cotton candy is like a more lighter of a pink. So the next thing I did is to just get the lighter pink of chalk and then just again put it into my Ziploc bag, crushed it, and then just put in my fiber. With the amount of fiber that I put in, it was too much for the chalk that I've put in. So I put in another extra light pink chalk, crushed it, and then shook it all around again. And then I got the perfect color of the fiber to make it look like a cotton candy. So I have the finished product over here. As you can see, it is so cute. It is quite dusty because of the chalk, but I hope you can see that is the color we are going for to make it look like cotton candy. So this would be glued on top of the top part of the display case. So make it look like cotton candy clouds. So again, the white base part of the top part would be the base for these cotton candy clouds. Just put on some glue on top of it and then just put this around. Make sure to lay it flat. Don't make it like too fluffy because that would mean that this cloud would be covering a lot of the background part of our display case, and we don't want that. We worked hard for the background part of our display case, so this would be just an added bonus for the top part of the display case. All right, are you guys excited? I'll show you guys the finished product. Alright, you guys, here it is, and I'm so happy how this turned out. This is actually what I envisioned for this project, and even more, I guess. But as you can see, there are a lot of details for this one. I'll just start with the base. So this is the base. So here it is. So there are a lot of details for this one. There are some lollipops in there, some donuts, some cupcakes, and there are some of these gumdrops, which I just filled in just the gaps, and some of these jelly details in here. So this is the step, and I'm quite happy how this turned out. The colors of the accessories just stood out with a dark brown. And then, you guys, this is the step of this display case. Wow, I am quite happy again how this turned out. I needed to figure out how to put these details in here and not like obstruct the figures. So I took some time to figure that one out. I just put some, again, lollipops in there, some candy canes, some cupcakes, these gumdrops and jelly details in here, and the white again just offers that blank space for these details to show up, and it does look so beautiful, you guys. And then this is like one of the hardest parts of this display case. Some of these I just figured out like where to put them, but this I had to plan out everything. So again, this is the background of this display case, you guys, and I'm so happy how this turned out. There are like gingerbread details in here, the lollipops, the jellies and stuff, the chocolate bars in there. It's so cute and so detailed, you guys. Look at that. Some of these details I had to glue again in there because some of them fell off. So I had to put more glue in there, and some I actually put like glue gun because the glue wasn't enough. As you can see, there are more details to this compared to the tutorial that I have for you guys, but you guys can freestyle with it. Just be creative with it, you know. But yeah, I'm so happy how this turned out. And then after this background, this part, wow, I am amazed how this turned out. This is quite an experimental one. This is my first time working with fiber and, you know, chalk and coloring the fiber with the chalk. So I am so happy. Oh my god, this is how I imagined it in my head. It makes me so happy that I just imagined it and then I made it and now it's here, you guys. Wow. As you can see, I did not stop with the cotton candy clouds theme for the top part of this display case. I added more details to this, like lollipops, some candy canes, and these jelly things. But yeah, I just went so creative with this one. What I actually did for this one is I put on some glue gun onto the accessories, and then I pushed them in there into the clouds and just make sure that they're stable in there. I have seen that some of them fall off after some time, but I just remedied that with super glue. So since there is already like a glue gun outline in there, so it is easier for the super glue to just stick in there and make this more stable. All right, it's time to build all of this together. I'm quite excited to show you guys. So this would be in here. And then I have some spare like small lollipops in here, like these things. And I would just scatter them anywhere in the steps, like so. Okay, so again, this is the steps and the base. I'm so happy. Wow. And then I'll put the background in there. Like so. Oh my god, it's coming together. Look at that. Okay, I'll show you guys. See? My god. And then the finishing touch is this roof right here. But I'll just put this together later and I'll show you a B-roll. So it would be much more clearer for you guys. I am so happy how this turned out. The details, everything. Wow. Again, I just imagined this, you guys. And now it's here. I'm so amazed. I am so excited to show you guys the figures that I'll be putting in here. They would look so cool with this display case with the gingerbread house, the frosty-like steps with the candy canes, the ice cream, the cupcakes, the gummy bears, the lollipops, everything, including the base and this cotton candy fantasy right up above and these candies stuck in there. I am so happy how this turned out. Alright, that's it for this week's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one and hopefully you could follow along my tutorial and make this on your own. Honestly guys, it is so worth it. And please don't forget to click the subscribe button and click the notification bell button so that you would be notified for future videos. Share this to all of your friends, your titos, your titas, your grandmoms, your granddads, everyone. Alright, that's it. Bye!